shoot, I said that you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalker, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's the matter with King? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said that you claim?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. It's Thursday, the day before Fight Night Fridays, that is played on Frontline Gaming streams, where we have fun. And no, got something special for y'all tomorrow, in light of what happened last Friday. Now, that video has been since taken down. Controversial video. But we have a lot of games that we need to talk about. We have a lot of stuff releasing. Assassin's Creed looks really, really, really good. To go to Japan. And it's befitting because Iron Lords is going on the road to Tokyo. Assassin's Creed Shadow looks so good. We got gameplay of that we're going to be showing. We got other games that we're going to be showing today. Don't have a lot of content today. But what we do have is our conversation with Neil Druckmann. And a lot of games being released. And I do want to talk about the collapse of the industry. I feel that the industry might be heading for a collapse, but not in the traditional sense. I got a chance to really, really think long and hard on it. And traditionally, we expect for us to have a crash, but I think we're moving too good as gamers. We've never been this great as far as where we are as far as video games go. But let me know, leave comments. Let me know, are we headed for a crash? Oh, Saturday, it's not going to be a live show. I'm going to be taking care of some stuff, so it's no live show Saturday. So I'm going to figure out how I reward you guys. Probably go late Saturday night. I don't know. But yes, definitely 100%. This show is a thought-provoking show. So you're not going to get a lot of slander from me today because me thinking about the industry, there's a lot of trepidation there because there's a lot of moving parts going on right now. There's a lot of stuff that had to happen in order to move us to where we are as far as who's in office. Are they behind big tech? Stuff like that had different people won the presidency. Big tech will be in trouble. Well, now big tech isn't in trouble. How is big tech going to handle the responsibility of AI? You saw automatically quantum computing became a big, big headline. So again, we got topics. Let's get into it. Let's have fun. Because I know it sounds like when I get into deep thought, I get so philosophical. Gets dark sometimes. Let's go. Lots of new games was confirmed at Nikon 2025 for the Xbox consoles. And I see there's a lot of discourse going around with people talking about the games industry crashing. And I'm here to quell all those fears because I don't see us going towards a crash. Now, one of the games that they did show at Nikon is the RoboCop standalone game that is like, I think like a companion piece to the first RoboCop game. I thought it was like Dark City or something like that. And also, I believe that Dark City. RoboCop. Don't quote me here. I think it's Rogue City. Rogue City is on sale right now, for a good price. Right, and then you can get the new expansion. Oh no, Rogue City's the new expansion. What was the first one? I think it was like Dark City, something like that. It was something weird. Anyway, I don't see us going to a crash in the traditional sense. I see us leading to a lot of consolidation. The reason why we went to the crash the first time, if y'all guys never lived the crash, what happened was we were getting a boatload of shovelware and really not good games. Graphically, we weren't where we needed to be. I think this thing is too big to fail. But what I'm saying is, I think that the industry that we're in is making too much money at this time for the failures to actually amount to a crash. What I do see is consolidation. I do see the weeding out of the weak and gobbling up of all individuals to form the strong. I think you're going to see, and this is going to be the problem of the industry, you're going to see the big three. There's going to be a ton of consolidation. Now, with those big three, those are the console manufacturers, which is Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox. They will always have a console for as long as consoles are needed, right? Because I do believe, besides Nintendo, the big two would like to get out of that distribution area, get into the making of the money, if you will. So I don't believe that how it's structured at the moment, a collapse would happen. More consolidation, more conglomerates getting larger and larger. And you will have probably, like you'll see, once you see something like EA gets gobbled up, Tencent becomes a larger player. Google throws its hat in the ring by buying like a Ubisoft and a WB. They become an immediate player. If you see Netflix, if they happen to partner with like a Sony, which is my thought process, it changes the industry. The industry is never going to crash again. You will see a lot of AI stuff happening and how companies structure the AI help or the AI takeover, if you will, to the point that normal developers making games is gonna be different. We're at a tipping point of difference because I have not seen this level of quality games releasing at this cadence that they're releasing. Normally, we have 2 or 3 titles a year that was noteworthy with minor games in between that you had to find the gems in the rough. And then, if you were lucky, you had it on multiple consoles. But normally, those AAA titles were spread across the main consoles. Like you got Street Fighter for Nintendo, you got Street Fighter for Sega, you got Street Fighter for TurboGrafx. What I'm saying now is varying degrees. This console will have this console will have that, but the majority will have the bulk of the games. It will be very small differentiating games that will separate them. The thought process when it comes to the collapse, it's not going to be in a traditional sense. The collapse will happen in the traditional sense how you see the market. There won't be a stop in production. There won't be a stop in game production. There won't be a stop to our normal gaming. But the days of small indie people two garage guys go in the garage and make a game and put it out. I think immediately, if the game is good, immediately they get gobbled up, brought out, and their game and their IP and sent along their way. I don't never see the rise of the small IP when we hit that point. We're not there yet. And for us to be there, then that means the bigger entities, the conglomerates, already have solidified the digital future. And we're gaining that aspect right now. We're shedding the physical and moving completely to the digital. The digital future is when the separation actually happens. Because at that point, the larger conglomerates have a hold of you as a consumer, because you have made your digital footprint, your digital self. We talked about this a lot. Your digital self really dictates how you game, where you game, and what you're going to game on. Right? So we look for digital compilers of games, like you've seen with the Sonic. How does that change? Do you get a chance to own a licensee? And I'm going to talk about that. But at the end of the day, we will hit a crash, but not a crash in the sense that how you may perceive it. It's going to be a crash, but in a sense that it's going to change what you're used to. What you're used to right now is certain publishers putting out titles, and it's happening that way. No. Microsoft has actually got the ball rolling by purchasing ABK, by purchasing ZeniMax. Purchasing these large publishers changed the dynamic critically. And then themselves taking on those publishing duties by placing those games on competing platforms kind of upsets the apple cart. Changes what is the norm. So when you do dramatic stuff like that to shake up the industry, the way the industry writes itself is going to be interesting. But I believe Microsoft and Xbox is on the right side of history by being financially able to be the first one out the gate to do such bold things. Xbox adds 3 new dynamic backgrounds today, plus a free trial for Split Fiction. I suggest if you're a fan of the dynamic backgrounds like myself, go check those dynamic backgrounds out. And if you like Split Fiction, get in there, get to the demo, and go check that out. I honestly believe that it probably might be a Game of the Year contender. Attic and I were supposed to play today. We probably will play it tomorrow. I don't know. I know tomorrow's Fight Night Fridays. So at the end of the day, if you like dynamic backgrounds, please get to it. 3 extras right there. If you like Split Fiction or you don't know yet, go try the free trial. I'll probably try the free trial. Some fun stuff to do. Probably one of my video game fears might be realized. I got a chance to meet Neil Druckmann, I believe it was 2 to 3 years ago. And, we were chatting, and I explained to him my greatest game is, Last of Us Part 2. And I gave him my reasons why, and we talked about it. We chatted about that. And he hinted at talking about 3, and I was like, I don't want to know anything about 3. I'm not one of those guys that wants to spoil whatever the story might be or where they might go or anything like that. And we were talking about video games. Cool guy, because he got a Lifetime Achievement Award at the New York City Game Awards. And Iron Lords was presenting at the time. And we just had a chance to chop it up with him. And that was cool. It one of the highlights of my gaming life. Alongside, talking to Peter Moore and having to guard Reggie Fils-Aimé. That's a whole story within itself. But this right here, I understand the problems that he was having with Intergalactic. And the problems that he was having with Intergalactic, having to go get funding and stuff like that, and Sony putting a number, quite difficult. Whereas, he's making movies and shows, and he's working as a director at a different medium, being well received. Certain pressures aren't there. Certain criticisms isn't there. Different kind of criticism, different kind of pressures. Not saying that one is greater than the next. Maybe he's gotten to the point where he's probably disenchanted with the process over at Sony. Maybe the restructuring that Sony is going through will have him say something like, don't count on it. What was the don't bet on there being more when asked about The Last of Us as far as a part 3? That's like a cliffhanger to be left there. Or don't count on it from him. That's a head scratcher. That's something that's rough. Like, you think that's a given, and it doesn't seem like that. I'm talking in hopes that it's not happening. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because in talking that it's a wrap, because I see a lot of Xbox dudes champion like, it's not gonna happen. I'm not a fan of that. I don't care what side of the fence you fall on The Last of Us 2. For me, it's an apex game. It's an apex game. We have apex games that we can all agree on. This is probably the most divisive apex game. It is probably one of the most controversial apex games. Makes you the most uncomfortable. It gives you the reason why revenge isn't good. It allows you to understand in some world, in your world, you might be the hero, but in someone else's world, you are an absolute villain. I think the game, the stories, are some of the most grounded, well-written games. So there's no wonder why the game was made into a show that, for me, captivated the essence of the show while interpreting it a little bit different in some episodes, that is able to garner the attention of the casual that doesn't know anything about the game. And I guess the hopes for Sony was that the game, the show, will open up minds to want to know more about the game. You have a new controller that's coming out on March 14th, a Last of Us controller DualSense. Something that is very eye-catching, very good, very nice. But I do want to hear the end of Neil's story. I do want to know what really happens with Ellie, where Abby goes on her quest. What there's things that's left to chance. But I guess that's ultimately up to Neil, and if Neil steps away from the project, then it's going to be ultimately left up to Sony. And does Sony take that big leap and do like they did with David Jaffe and hand the reins off to another director to a large franchise that they most likely own the IP to. I wasn't gleeful at this at all. I don't particularly understand who would be. That's like telling somebody, like, if I knew that we will have to wait this long to get a Castlevania game, I would be livid. A Metal Gear game, livid. So, this is an Apex game. I thought after Intergalactic, because I felt that he forced Intergalactic onto Sony. He'll do The Last of Us 3 and then he's out. Now, there's a possibility that he does Intergalactic and he's out. I don't like that possibility. That possibility to me sucks more than anything. I don't like that possibility at all. But I'm not in charge. So, I don't know. Well, now that we got a chance to talk about that, and I gave you my thoughts on how I feel about The Last of Us Part 3 not making it or making it. There's minor issues that's going on right now. Like there's some bug apparently factory resetting people's Xboxes. I don't know what that's about. And then they said it was some bug about the controller. I don't know what that's about. Haven't encountered any of that stuff. If you saw me on Frontline Gaming Streams today, I was playing a lot of Marvel Rivals with the squad. We had fun. Then dipped down in anime and myself. Did some stuff. You're going to check out his stuff on his Patreon and Iron Lord's podcast. We'll have stuff that we're checking out on our Patreon. I do want you to make sure that you go handle that stuff over there. And also go to Frontline Gaming Streams where you're going to get the dopest information. Also, like, follow, and subscribe. Get that done. But you saw the games. You saw all the games that we have so far. There are so many high-quality games. It's impossible for a crash. Consolidation, yes. Services, yes. There's going to come a point in time where too many games, not enough time, too much money. They're going to have to get inside Game Pass. They're going to have to go inside PlayStation Plus, the Nintendo service, Steam, something. I think the industry is ripe right now for Netflix to take control of their gaming situation. Team up with a Google. There's going to be a team up somewhere that's going to introduce another service. And when that service hits, it's going to be a direct competitor to Game Pass. You see, because right now, Game Pass stands solo above all services. That's not going to stand for long. You're going to need competition in that space to make Microsoft honest. That's the reason why I don't believe that Microsoft will get out of the hardware business until there's no hardware necessary to keep PlayStation honest. Because the moment PlayStation gets too arrogant, then Microsoft will gobble up those excess fans and vice versa. There is moments in time where arrogance also plays a part and it will tear up the fabric of whatever company's reality is, like you see with Sony right now, i.e. no games. They have to turn everything around. They have to get focused. They have to save money. They have to be frugal. There's different things that's happening right now because of arrogance. Arrogance and believing that they can do something that they never done, and they went out and did it and it actually failed miserably, but they gave up on everything. They threw the baby out with the bathwater, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You had good IPs that were there. You're supposed to innovate on those and make sure the strategy is day and date on PC. If you're not going to emulate Microsoft completely, make sure you emulate them in some form or fashion in order to replicate the cash. That's my only question. Will they be able to do it? But This is the part in the video where I'm going to tell you like, follow, and subscribe. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it around Split Fiction Trial. It's available. You saw it. Let's go get it. Let's go play some Split Fiction. And if you see me online, holla at me, because guess what I'm going to do today? Oh, snap. I don't even have my chain on. Are you serious? I'm going to try to play the Game Pass. That's wild, Bella.